good.
I don't know if you could follow that act for the first two speakers, but we'll try. We'll do our best.
Oh, please. So tell people a little bit about, you have a restaurant concept called the Amalur project that you guys are working on. Can you let people know a little bit about that?
Yeah, so about 3 years ago I created what's called the Amalur project. It's basically, it's a collaboration of chefs. Jacob, Kear, and I met probably about a year and a half ago, and what we do is basically between Jacob and I, we've had the privilege and honor of working with a lot of amazing chefs in amazing restaurants, and what we've done throughout the years is we noticed that there's a kind of a lack of camaraderie between chefs in LA, and what we really wanted to do with our project is more so than just our own restaurant. We wanted to kind of bring together a lot of talent together, bring together a lot of chefs that have amazing talent, because LA is filled with tremendous talent. So we kind of got together and said, you know what, I have these set skills, you have these set skills, let's come together and create something. So we started, we came up with this not really idea, it's more of a philosophy. Jacob's half Japanese and American, I'm Spanish, Mexican, but I lived most of my time in Spain, and I've spent time in Japan. So we had that common ground of the Japanese cuisine, which was, you know, really being true to just everything that we use as far as ingredients, which is a big thing in LA. We really make an effort to kind of stay true to the ingredients, but at the same time be very creative. And the Amalur project is exactly that. Amalur project itself, Amalur is a Basque name for, it's a Basque name for from the earth, so I thought it was an appropriate name to name it. And Amalur project is basically a series of guest dinners. We take over restaurant spaces. We'll do a dinner series for about anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks. We're in the process of hopefully, you know, getting our own restaurant space and doing a lot of creative things. And we really want to just bring together the whole creative environment, but also being very true to the whole, you know, being true, working with farmers, we're working with wild food experts. We're working. In the future, we're going to be working with a lot of people from UCLA Food Science. So we're trying to incorporate all of that and do that in the pop-ups, dinner series that we do, and hopefully have our place soon.
And have you guys announced your next pop-up location?
This weekend we're going to announce it. It's amalurproject.com, but we're going to be doing our next series on the west side. We're just confirming a couple of dates, but we're going to do that this weekend and go online.
Oh, very cool. And seating is like pretty limited, right? Like you do a very intimate dining experience.
It's a tasting menu, but we always cater to the vegetarian. So we have a regular menu and we do a vegetarian tasting menu. We haven't ventured off into the vegan yet, but we actually both, Jacob and I love working with vegetables. It's a lot more challenging, believe it or not. Proteins are easy. If you're getting amazing quality, which we do get a lot of access to in California, it's super simple. You kind of stay true to the ingredients and figure out how to bring out the best of it. But when it comes to vegetables, they're a lot more challenging because they're just so complex in the sense that a vegetable, I mean, there's really no difference between a carrot and a piece of meat. You have to treat it the same way. So we find a lot of amazing challenges and it's really gratifying when you do something with a vegetable that you probably can't even do with a piece of protein. So,
well, and I have to say, you guys have probably one of the most stunning food Instagrams on the internet. The food is really, it's so gorgeous, and what I was really interested in is you seem to really highlight the natural aspects and the natural elements with your work, but at the same time, there's also a kind of an artistic and almost surrealistic quality to what you're doing. So I was just curious, are you influenced by visual artists? Do you have visual artists? Does that come into play as a chef for you guys?
It does. I mean, I don't know. I speak for myself, but I mean, it does to a certain extent. I mean, food. I mean, we're craftsmen. You know, we have a craft. We cook. We're cooks. To a certain extent, it can be an art. I think the most important thing that we do is we practice our craft, which is to kind of nurture the ingredients that we do and translate it in the best way possible. But I think that there is a certain level of artistry. I mean, you know, you eat with your eyes first. That's what most people say. But we try to make it, if it's even possible, once we feel that we've mastered whatever ingredients we're using, then we have the permission of creating something, whether it's mimicking where the product actually came from. If we have a dish, again, I'll bring up the subject of carrot. If we have a dish that incorporates a carrot, we'll probably create a dish give it a visual effect of, okay, it's being pulled out from the earth. We'll create exactly that. So we can do that with anything, with potatoes, with even fish. We try and do that with herbs, with anything at all. So I guess to a certain extent there is a level of artistry, but before anything, we try to make sure that we're very good about respecting the ingredient, not too many. You know, we try not to blindfold the ingredients too much and let people just really feel the produce and really experience it.
Nice. And I was doing a little research about you. I read that you grew up in a really a family that was very much in the kitchen and very into food. How did your childhood influence you becoming a chef? And was there a moment as a young person when you knew that that's what you wanted to do?
Well,
and that's for both of you.
Yeah. I'll give quickly my version, then Jacob can do his. My grandfather was a chef. The only thing is, living in Spain at the time, couldn't really support his family by being a chef at the time. So he was actually a construction worker. His brother was a chef. They had restaurants. So I come from a family of restaurants. But I would, since the age of 12, I used to watch my grandfather cook. I would participate. I would help him. Our family cooked. It was a natural thing. And my dream was actually to be a musician. I thought I would be a musician. I actually went to a conservatory in Spain. Learned how to music. I wanted to be compose my own music. So I did do that for a couple of years. Found out that cooking was my calling. It felt right to me. And I ended up falling back into that and continuing with that, and it's one of those things where you have these multiple experiences, but there's always one or two things that just really call out to you. You feel at peace with it. You're familiar with it, and you feel like you've done it forever. And that was my experience. So I don't know.
Nice.
Well, being half Japanese, I was raised in Japan until I was 12. And always in the kitchen since I was about 5. My grandmother, who was Japanese, she's the one that taught me the classic broth making using bonito flakes and kombu, which is a kelp, cooking rice. Very classical technique is where I learned from my grandmother. Also, during spring and fall, we used to go visit our cabin up in Nagano, which is in the countryside. That's where they did that Olympic. Beautiful forests. That's where my grandmother taught me the art of foraging, which is going into the wild, picking your own wild herbs and plants and fruits and all that good stuff that people are not used to eating. So that's my background. I study art, architectural design as well. I always fell back into cooking. I've been cooking since 15 professionally.
Wow. That's amazing.